I'm sinking.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Robert Sports Show presents Honor Championship Wrestling. If you look back at Robert Sports Show, there's been 2 other videos where I created a fictitious wrestling organization with nothing but independent wrestlers and New Japan wrestlers, and went through and did storylines, cards, etc., created shows for these wrestlers. The first video was the show 1 through 4. This episode will be shows 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the next episode, which will air down the line, will be show 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's kind of recap where we're at here after 4 shows. We have Adam Cole as the world champion. We have Brian Cage as the HCW Pure Champion. We have Kenny Omega as the HCW Television Champion. Angelina Love is the HCW Women's Champion. We have Chris Sabin as the HCW X Division Champion. The Tag Champions are the Young Bucks. There are 2 Shot at Gold cases in play. These are briefcases that were won in ladder war matches, and they get a world title shot anytime they want. We have both members of the American Wolves. We have Davey Richards with one, Eddie Edwards with the other one. So now we go on to Lockdown, which is presented from Phoenix, Arizona. Pre-show, we have an interview with the general manager with the American Wolves. General manager's name is Nigel McGuinness. We have an interview with the Wolves about the Shot at Glory cases. Morishima comes out and demands a match against Eddie Edwards. If you remember back at Glory by Honor, a masked man comes out and takes out Morishima to get into the ladder war match. And when the bell rung, the man in the mask was in the ring, was officially in the match, and that man was Eddie Edwards. He went on to win it. So Morishima comes out and demands a match with Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards keeps telling him no. Nigel McGuinness, the general manager, makes that match at Lockdown. Alright, the first match on the card, we have the television title on the line. We have champion Kenny Omega, a member of the Bullet Club, versus Johnny Mundo, a member of the Alliance. And still television champion, with help from the Bullet Club, we have Kenny Omega. To recap the factions real quick, get you up to speed, we have the Bullet Club, which is the phenomenal AJ Styles, Brian Cage, Kenny Omega, Chris Sabin, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. The Alliance is Kurt Angle, Ricochet, Johnny Mundo, Roderick Strong, and the tag team of the Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. Chaos is Okada, Nakamura, Morishima, Marufuji, Ibushi, and Ishii. And Fortune is Adam Cole, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, and Chris Hero. So next we have former tag team champions, the Red Dragon, versus the new tag team champions, the Young Bucks, in the HCW tag title match. And what they retain, we have the Young Bucks. Next we have that match, Morishima versus Eddie Edwards. If Morishima wins, he will challenge Eddie Edwards for the case next month at Turning Point. So obviously this is just a match. If Morishima can win, he'll get the shot at the briefcase and be able to hopefully win the briefcase that he should have won at Glory by Honor. We have Morishima with help from Okada, members of Chaos, beating Eddie Edwards. So yes, at Turning Point, Morishima will get a shot at Eddie Edwards' Shot at Gold briefcase. Next, we have the women's title on the line. We have champion Angelina Love versus Madison Rayne. Angelina Love, Madison Rayne, and Velvet Sky are members of the Beautiful People. We have the finger poke of death. We have Angelina Love finger poking Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne falling. Angelina Love pinning her. 1, 2, 3, retaining her title. After the match, we have Madison Rayne not really liking what the Beautiful People are doing and beat down on Angelina Love and walked away from the Beautiful People. So we're having a little turmoil in the Beautiful People family. Next, in the last main standing match, we have the HCW X Division title on the line. We have champion Chris Sabin, member of the Bullet Club, versus Roderick Strong, a member of the Alliance. And with help from the Bullet Club, we have a retained Chris Sabin for the X Division title. Next, we have the Lethal Lockdown match. With the Pure title in play, we have the Bullet Club versus the Alliance. We have Pure champion Brian Cage. So if the Bullet Club wins this, Brian Cage keeps his Pure title. If the Alliance wins, and then Ricochet is awarded the Pure title. The Bullet Club is AJ Styles, Brian Cage, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. The Alliance is Kurt Angle, Ricochet, Johnny Mundo, and the Addiction, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. And the winners of the Lethal Lockdown match and retaining the Pure title, the Bullet Club. Next, in a Fatal 4-Way, we have the HCW World title on the line. We have all members of Fortune. We have Adam Cole, Chris Hero, Austin Aries, and Robert Roode. The little preview for this match, we had an interview backstage with all 4 members of Fortune. And like they all 4 say, we're here to win the world title. Yes, we're Fortune, but we're fortunate to be the 4 best wrestlers in the business. We're here to make sure the title stays with us. It doesn't matter which member of Fortune has the title. It just matters that Fortune has the title. So in that Lethal Lockdown cleanup match, if you ever remember what a Lethal Lockdown was, the top of this, there's basically every match is in a cage. Oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning. All matches are in a cage. For the lockdown, we had the top of the cage come down and the weapons and stuff are up there. So they had to clean the ring out, lift the top up, and etc. So we had the Fatal 4-Way all in a cage match. Adam Cole, champion, versus Chris Hero, versus Austin Aries, versus Robert Roode. Once the match gets started, all of a sudden you hear little explosions and everyone looks up. For some weird reason, the top of the cell is starting to come down. No one can figure out why, because it's not supposed to come down in this match. Well, once it clinks down, you ain't getting, there's no way out of this cell, out of the cage. Because the door's locked and there's a cell in it, so all 4 members of Fortune kind of look at each other like, okay, they need to continue wrestling. And they start using the weapons hanging down. 4 masked men appear from the top of the cage. They climb into the cage. These 4 guys take out the 4 guys, the Fortune guys. We have a big old box fall from the top of the cell. The referee's in the cage kind of looking around, not knowing what to do. These 4 men unmask. We have Eddie Edwards. We have Kata Ibushi. We have Kenny Omega. We have Drew Galloway. Excuse me, the unmasked is Eddie Edwards, Ibushi, and Drew Galloway. When they start to beat down on, and then Kenny Omega. And so when they start to beat down, they beat everyone down. Eddie Edwards pulls out a shot at gold briefcase, hands it to the referee, pins Adam Cole 1, 2, 3. Not only do we have a shot of gold cash in, we have a new faction form, the New World Elite. Eddie Edwards is your world champion. What a way to go off the air. Next, we have Turning Point. Coming to you from Orlando, Florida. The pre-show match, we have ACH versus Jay Lethal. ACH wins. Then we go backstage for an interview with the newest faction in wrestling. We have... let me get back to it. We have these 6 guys in the faction known as the New World Elite, NWE. We have world champion Eddie Edwards. We have Kata Ibushi. We have Kenny Omega. We have Magnus. We have Drew Galloway. We have Alberto El Patron. And Edwards talks about how he formed this faction, how he got these guys, the world's best professional wrestlers, to join him to become kings of the wrestling world. Wrestlers from all over the world. No New World Elite. Alright, on to Turning Point. We have the number one contender match for the tag titles. We have former champions Red Dragon versus LAX versus The Addiction. And the new number one contender for the tag title is The Addiction. Next we have a TV title line. We have champion Kenny Omega versus MVP. Winner Kenny Omega. Next we have an Ultimate X match for the HCW X title. We have champion Chris Sabin versus Roderick Strong. And winner Mr. Ultimate X himself, Chris Sabin. Next we have the HCW tag titles on the line. We have champion Young Bucks versus the Time Splitters. And new tag team champions, the Time Splitters. We have the women's title line and a beautiful people match. We have triple threat champion Angelina Love versus Madison Rayne versus Velvet Sky. And still women's champion Angelina Love. We have Fortune members Bobby Roode and Austin Aries versus Davey Richards and Jay Briscoe. We have the team of Davey Richards and Jay Briscoe winning. Next we have the Pure title on the line. We have champion Brian Cage, a member of the Bullet Club, versus Ricochet, a member of the Alliance, versus Alberto El Patron, a member of the New World Elite. With help from his new joined brothers in his faction of New World Elite, the new Pure Champion, Alberto El Patron. We have the main event for the world title. We have champion Eddie Edwards versus Adam Cole, former champion, versus the champion who never got his rematch from Glory of Honor, the phenomenal AJ Styles, versus Morishima, who should have had a match versus Eddie Edwards for the briefcase because he beat Eddie Edwards the last show, but because Eddie Edwards cashed in a lockdown, he's joined this match. We have former number one contender Okada and former number one contender Kurt Angle to round out the King of the Mountain ladder match. For those of you who have never seen a King of the Mountain ladder match, I'll explain the rules a little bit. It's basically a reverse ladder match. You have to pin someone to get an opportunity to take the title, climb the ladder, hang the belt up there. Once you get pinned, you go into a penalty box for 2 minutes. So once the first person gets pinned, a person goes in the penalty box. The person getting the pin is the only person eligible to climb the ladder to hang the title up there to win the match. The match can end before everyone's eligible, or everyone can pin somebody and become eligible and climb up there. And so we have, with help from the New World Elite, we have Eddie Edwards retaining his world title in a King of the Mountain match. It was announced after the show by General Manager Nigel McGuinness at Hard Justice. The next pay-per-view is Sacrifice. Hard Justice is after that. At Hard Justice will be a 4-hour show with an hour pre-show. During the pre-show, there will be 2 Battle Royal matches, 20 people apiece. The first Battle Royal, the final 6, 3 of them will battle for the X title, 3 of them will battle for the TV title. In the second Battle Royal, the final 6, 3 will battle for the Pure title, 3 will battle for the World title. There will be 6 number one contender matches, 4 titles in a triple threat match, then the tag title match, and then a women's title match. So a huge card coming up at Hard Justice. So our 7th pay-per-view will be Sacrifice. Sacrifice comes to you from Detroit, Michigan. Pre-show match is the number one contender for the tag titles We have Fortune versus the New World Elite. And we have Austin Aries and Rude representing Fortune, and Drew Galloway and Magnus representing the New World Elite. This match ends in a DQ. General Manager Nigel McGuinness decided to add both teams to the tag title match. So if we start off with the TV title, we have champion Kenny Omega versus James Storm. The New World Elite comes out, but Kenny Omega being an NWE member, the Bullet Club comes out and helps James Storm win the TV title and tries to convince James Storm to take Omega's spot in the Bullet Club. Next, we have the X title on the line. We have champion Chris Sabin versus Kata Ibushi. Once again, help from the Bullet Club, or from New World Elite. Ibushi is the new X Division champion. In the women's title, we have champion Angelina Love versus Gail Kim, and still champion Angelina Love. That tag title match, we have champion the Time Splitters versus the two number one contenders, Fortune and New World Elite. And the New World Elite are your new tag team champions. We have the rematch for the Pure title. We have former champion Brian Cage versus champion Alberto El Patron. And still champion Alberto El Patron. So currently, Fortune has all the titles. Next we have Adam Cole versus Okada. And Adam Cole gets the victory. World title line, we have champion Eddie Edwards versus the phenomenal AJ Styles in this one-on-one rematch from Glory by Honor. And still champion Eddie Edwards, the diehard Eddie Edwards. But after the match, seen on the stage watching with a briefcase in his hand is Davey Richards. So former Wolves members, champion Eddie Edwards, and then the number one contender holding the briefcase, Davey Richards. Alright, Hard Justice 4-hour show. We have the pre-show, the two battle royals. The first battle royal, the three people go into the final six, every other one. So what's going to happen? There's going to be the six final six. 1, 3, and 5 will go for the X title. 2 and 4 and 6 will go for the TV title. So we have Ricochet going for the X title, Brian Cage going for the TV title, Matt Sydal going for the X title, Shelton Benjamin TV title, Alex Shelley X title, and Roderick Strong TV title. Second battle royal, same format, final six, every other one for the world title, 1, 3, and 5, 2, 4, and 6 for the pure title. For the world title, we have the phenomenal AJ Styles. Pure title, we have Austin Aries. World title, Bobby Roode. Pure title, Chris Hero. World title, Okada. Pure title, Jay Briscoe. So the finalists for the titles, number one contenders, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Okada for the world. Austin Aries, Chris Hero, Jay Briscoe for the pure. Brian Cage, Shelton Benjamin, and Roderick Strong for the TV. Ricochet, Matt Sydal, and Alex Shelley for the X. Tag titles, number one contenders are Fortune, LAX, Red Dragon, and Chaos. Women's title, Gail Kim, Velvet Sky, Taryn Terrell, and Mickie James. Now to the epic show with 12 matches. Number one is the Fatal 4-Way number one contender for the tag title. So all of the first 6 matches are number one contender matches. And then the final 6 matches, all world title matches. So the number one contender for the tag title is Red Dragon. TV title number one contender match, we have Shelton Benjamin versus Brian Cage versus Roderick Strong. Omega and the New World Elite take out Shelton, help Cage win. Cage pins Strong to become number one contender. The X title number one contender, we have Ricochet versus Matt Sydal versus Alex Shelley. Ricochet is number one contender. Women's title, Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky versus Taryn Terrell versus Mickie James. Gail Kim is your number one contender. Pure title, Austin Aries versus Chris Hero versus Jay Briscoe. Chris, who's your hero, the young knockout kid, is your number one contender. World title, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, and Okada. Bobby Roode is your number one contender. Now for the title matches. We have tag titles, New World Elite versus Red Dragon. Still tag team champions in New World Elite, and then a little NWE beatdown on Red Dragon. For the TV title, we have champion James Storm versus Brian Cage versus Kenny Omega. And new champion, two-time champion, Kenny Omega. X title line, the last man standing, Ibushi versus Ricochet. With help from the NWA, Ibushi retains the X title. Women's title, the champion Angelina Love versus Gail Kim. Gail Kim, the newest member of the New World Elite, is women's champion. Pure title, we have champion Alberto Del Rio versus Chris Hero. Still champion Alberto El Patron. For the world title, we have an I Quit match, Eddie Edwards and Bobby Roode. And still champion, Eddie Edwards. The New World Elite now has all the titles. As they all stand in the ring holding their titles, you see Davey Richards once again on the ramp watching, holding the Shot at Gold briefcase, just clapping. So that will wrap up shows 5, 6, 7, and 8 of Robert Sports Show presents Honor Championship Wrestling. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show and have a spiffy night. Robert Sports Show, the YouTube leader in sports channels.